They said it was just a delay, a technical issue, a brief pause in filming. But that's not what really happened. Because what went down between Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun that day was the moment everything fell apart. This was the final scene. It began like any other day on set. The crew arrived early, the cameras rolled, and anticipation filled the air. They were filming one of the most important moments of the project. A reunion scene that mirrored their real lives far too closely. A moment of love, of forgiveness, of bittersweet connection. But off camera, the tension was unbearable. For weeks, whispers had circulated through the production. Something wasn't right between them. The smiles looked forced. The glances no longer carried warmth. And the crew, though professional, could feel it. When you've worked with two people who once lit up a scene just by standing together, you notice when that light goes dim. It was supposed to be simple. A single take. A scene where Kim Go-eun's character reaches out, and Lee Min-ho's character takes her hand. But that hand never reached out. And that's when everything started to unravel. According to a production assistant who was there that day, Kim Go-eun froze midway through the scene. The director called cut. But Lee Min-ho didn't move. He just stood there, silent, cold, unblinking. The atmosphere shifted instantly. Everyone could feel it. Something unspoken had just passed between them. Something real. No one knew it at the time, but the argument had started earlier that morning. It wasn't about the script. It wasn't about the lines. It was about trust. And about something that had happened days before. A rumor that Lee Min-ho had been spotted leaving a late-night restaurant with another actress, an up-and-coming star from the same agency. When the news broke online, fans dismissed it. Just gossip, they said. Just another headline. But for Kim Go-eun, it wasn't so simple. Because she had already confronted him about that woman, weeks before the rumors even surfaced. And he had looked her in the eyes and said, "There's nothing going on. You have my word." But now, his word felt empty. And that morning on set, surrounded by cameras and crew, it all came crashing down. Witnesses say they kept it quiet at first, whispering between takes, trying to stay professional. But the tension built. And during one retake, Lee Min-ho reportedly turned to her and said under his breath, "Can we just act? You're making this harder than it needs to be." To which she replied, "I can't act when it stopped being acting." The sound engineer caught the words, not intentionally, but because the microphones were still live. The director stopped everything. Silence fell across the set. And that's when Kim Go-eun walked off camera. For a moment, no one moved. Lee Min-ho followed her, quietly, almost cautiously. They went into the side corridor behind the soundstage. And that's where the shouting began. No one could hear every word. But one sentence cut through the thin studio walls. "You lied to me again." A door slammed. Someone, a staff member, tried to calm them down. But by then, it was too late. The tension wasn't just emotional anymore. It was physical. The production manager called an emergency break. And for the first time since filming began, the set was officially shut down. Hours later, the news started leaking online. Production delayed due to lead actors' health issues. Emotional stress causes temporary pause. But the truth? It wasn't health. It was heartbreak. The crew members who had been there said you could feel it in the air. That strange heaviness that comes when love turns into something unrecognizable. After that day, things were never the same. Kim Go-eun stopped speaking to him off camera. No small talk, no laughter between takes. They were professionals. They got through their lines. But the chemistry that once made their scenes unforgettable was now laced with tension. Every glance looked like a goodbye. Every touch felt forced. And the audience, once the drama aired, felt it too. The romance that once radiated warmth now looked like heartbreak caught on film. A crew member later confessed, they didn't need to act anymore. The pain you see in those final scenes? That was real. When the director finally wrapped the last episode, there was no celebration, no hugs, no final group photo. Kim Go-eun left quietly, slipping out a back exit. Lee Min-ho stayed behind, sitting alone on set long after everyone had gone home. It was the end of both the project and whatever they had left. Weeks later, fans began noticing changes online. Kim Go-eun unfollowed several mutual accounts. Stylists, coordinators, even one of Lee Min-ho's managers. Lee Min-ho, in turn, archived a few of his old posts. The ones with behind-the-scenes photos of the two of them. It was as if both were erasing traces of a memory they couldn't face anymore. Then came the press conference. Their first public appearance together since the shutdown. Reporters were watching closely, waiting for any sign of warmth. But what they got was ice. Kim Go-eun arrived first, poised, professional, distant. Lee Min-ho followed shortly after, smiling politely but avoiding her gaze. When asked about the rumored tension on set, she simply said, "Sometimes stories end differently than we expect, but we still have to tell them." And he added quietly, "The important thing is the story reached the audience. That's what matters." No mention of each other. No denial. No closure. Just silence. The kind that says everything without a single word. Insiders later revealed that both actors were offered future projects together, but neither accepted. One agency rep admitted off the record, "It's not about contracts or schedules. They just can't be in the same space right now." The fallout wasn't just emotional. It affected the entire production team. Sponsors, broadcast dates, even overseas distribution deals were delayed. All because two hearts had collided in a way no script could control. Still, fans refused to let go. They analyzed every post, every quote, searching for hidden messages of reconciliation. When Kim Go-eun shared a short clip of herself watching a sunset with a caption, "Peace isn't found in others, it's found in letting go," the internet erupted. Some believed it was a message to Lee Min-ho. Others said it was her way of healing. And when Lee Min-ho posted a photo of a script with the words, "Even endings can be beautiful," the theories only grew stronger. Two messages. Two hearts. Two separate journeys. But here's what few people know. After the shutdown, weeks later, both of them returned to the set. Not to film, but to pick up personal belongings. It was quiet that day. Most of the staff had gone home. Witnesses said they arrived within minutes of each other. A coincidence, or maybe fate's cruel joke. They didn't speak at first. Just silence. And then Kim Go-eun looked at him and said softly, "You could have just told me the truth." Lee Min-ho nodded. "I thought I was protecting you." She smiled, a sad, tired smile. That's what everyone says before they break you. And with that, she walked away for the last time. That was the real final scene. Not the scripted one. Not the one fans saw on screen. But the one no camera was ever meant to capture. Two people standing in the ruins of what they once built together. Still in love, but too hurt to stay. Months later, industry insiders still whisper about that day.